thought we were going to vote on some budget changes. I guess not.
The budget update. Well, I'll talk about that. Yeah.
Are you mean?
Huh? Oh,
We are live on Zoom. As I'm learning all this, do I have a place to mute everybody and mute as we go? Russ, are you still on there? Is there a mute all option? I'm missing it.
It should be under participants if it's there.
Aha.
Ah.
Ask on entry.
I can do it if you want.
I had an option. If you can find it, go for it. I found the option to, oh, there it is. God, I'm making you a co-host to bring you up to the top of my group.
Okay.
Muted you. We're going along. So, Scott, I think we can go ahead and start if you are ready.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to our continuation of our 2020 annual meeting. Andrea, if you want to pull up the slideshow, we've got the brief summary of our agenda.
Okay.
I'll bring it up here shortly.
Okay. We don't really need to approve it. There's no official vote for anything.
Gotta go to the first slide.
Yep, there we go. So officially call our annual meeting to order. If you want to go to the next slide, just have a quick review. We're just got a couple announcements, mainly about annual reports. Then we'll jump in with Chalice Lighting, covenants. We'll get an update from Russ as Vice President. We'll have an update on finances and the budget from Chuck. We'll take a collection, and then we will have our service awards. So if you can, I'd like to thank all the committees, teams, and groups that submitted annual reports this year via the new process of the electronic forms. We've had 31 responses so far, which I think is the best we've done in a number of years. We'd like to encourage anybody that hasn't submitted an annual report yet for their group, team, or committee to go ahead and still do that. I have all of the reports that we've received so far posted on the website, and the next couple of slides are just a quick guide of how you can get there to see them. If you go to the All Souls website, you click on members, and then on the Teams Committee Board link, go ahead to the next slide, and then click on the Board of Trustees link. And then that'll bring you to the main board page. If you just scroll down, which is our next, right under the dashboard is recent posts from the board. The very top one is the 2020 October Congregational Meeting. If you click on that, it takes you to a page with a link to the annual reports and other documents. And then that takes you to a shared folder in the church's Google Drive. And the only document in there right now is our annual reports. So if you click on that to open it up, it will bring up a PDF. One of the nice things about using the form this year is that it formatted everything in the same format. And so the form essentially ended up being 2 pages long to print out. You just scroll through and it's collated each committee, team, or group report by itself. So you can read one report, scroll to the next report, read that, and just scroll on down through all 31 of them. So as I said, if anybody has not submitted a report yet, go ahead and use the form that you were sent, or you can email me. We'll get those added in, and as we get new ones, we'll update this file. So that is pretty much all I have for procedural reports. So I will move on to the Chalice Lighting with Andrea.
I can't spotlight myself. Oh, there we go.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you. I like this chalice for adaptions, for those who have sheltered in place to protect themselves and others, for those who have masked up, for those who have lived on their own isolated, for those who have sent loved ones to receive care at a place that they cannot visit them, for those who have taken food to a friend, for those who have asked for help, for those who have created new ways to do old things, for those who have lost a loved one and had to mourn alone, for those who have shared what they have with others, for those who have created community in a Zoom room or a backyard door space, or any place else that is unique and different. I like this chalice for all souls. The chalice is lit, but I disappeared.
All right, thank you, Andrea. And Russ, if you could read our board covenant, and we'll follow that with the church covenant with Chandra.
All right. Let me get to the board covenant. Okay, so our board covenant for 2019-2020. Treat board service as a spiritual practice. Begin with a chalice lighting and covenant. Participate with goodwill, and be mindful of the All Souls mission. Respect others' time. Be on time and prepared. Honor the approved agenda. Honor commitments. Keep comments on topic and succinct, and avoid repeating established points. Listen respectfully with an open mind to ensure everyone is heard, congregants and board members. Speak openly, clearly, and honestly, without hyperbole, to the board and the congregation. Be helpful. Look for ways to say yes. Advocate fully for your point of view, but avoid becoming attached to it. Respects the board's decisions, and above all, honor the integrity of the All Souls community, and embrace the opportunities and challenges of growth and change.
All right, thank you, Russ. And Chandra?
Good afternoon, everyone. Feel free to join me in reciting our covenant. Goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service
is its
is
law.
its law. This is
This
our
is our great
covenant,
covenant, to dwell together
Dwell
in peace,
together in peace, to
to
seek
seek
the truth in love, and to
and
help
help
one
one
another.
another.
All right, and now back to Russ for a 2020 update from the board.
All right. My apologies. I keep switching between documents because there are so many of them. I only have one screen on this computer. All right. So in 2019-2020, the board had an awful lot of things. We've created this really quick bulleted list. Thank you to Andrea for creating this. She was actually vice president for most of the last year. So a few things we did in 2019-2020 at the start of the board year, Reagan was elected president and Andrea vice president. We reviewed and added a security footage policy in anticipation of the new security cameras which are installed in the church. We oversaw the installation of a new sound system. We worked on sidewalk repairs around the church. Every year the board reads a book together. And so our book read last year was 8 Innovations to Leading Millennials, focused on how we can get younger generations, specifically my generation and younger, involved in our church and our community. We also started working on a participation fund, which is a fund to allow congregants to participate in events when their personal funds aren't available. For example, a chili cook-off, but also travel and events and things like that. We looked at designating our church parking lot for our visitors and those in need of easy access. You probably saw Scott and I and several of us and Cheryl standing out at the church right before the pandemic hit with our wonderful table talking about that. We wrote letter in support of the Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church, allowing them to have a homeless center in their building. And then as we got to the new year at March, Reagan resigned from the office of president. And so Andrea then was nominated and affirmed to president, and I was nominated and affirmed as vice president. And then, of course, in the end of March, the pandemic hit. And so March 22nd was our last in-person Sunday service due to the pandemic. And the next week was our first online-only service. And as you're aware, we are still in that plan. And at least for right now, the board has approved a plan to stay that way until at least the end of this board year, so the end of May. We also met a couple extra times in April to address concerns and changes due to the pandemic, including how we would handle an annual online meeting that was online, which hopefully a lot of you took part in May. And this is the continuation of that meeting. We were able to apply and get a Paycheck Protection Plan loan that was received and converted to a grant from the federal government to help support our staff during the pandemic. And then some good news. We were able to ordain Rebecca Gant in partnership with the UU Church of Lawrence on May 30th. And so she is off doing good things in her own. We honored Kendall Gibbons with the drive-by parade to celebrate her 40th anniversary of her ordination. And so at the end of May, there were a couple of really fun events that we were able to have. And throughout the board year, we accepted 18 new membership requests. And so toward the end, every year the board creates 2 or 3 goals that we try and strive for throughout the year. Last year, the 3 board goals we worked on, the first one was creating fun and meaningful connections to support growth and depth of membership. One of the big things we did out of that goal was to focus on having a board member at the welcome table each Sunday to be approachable by everyone, both members of the church and new members, so that they felt like they had a voice, that they could talk to someone on the board at any time. Our second goal was to identify and document standard board tasks and procedures. Basically, as a board, we wanted to get more organized and do a better job of making sure that we are doing the things that the board is responsible for and dividing our accountability up so that a couple of board members don't feel like they're doing a lot of the work throughout the year. And I feel like we've done a really good job of that. It's stuff that the congregation may not see as much, but I feel like on the board, we are really well organized these last couple of years, and that a lot of the credit goes to Andrea and Scott and their working on that group. And then the third goal is, yeah, thank you. And the third part is completing our establishment of the Equal Opportunity Advocate Program. This is a policy that you might be familiar with. It was established 3 years ago, but has yet to be put into practice. Unfortunately, we still have not put that into practice yet, but that is continuing as a board goal later this year. And so hopefully you will see some progress on that. And we're kind of relating that to also some of the work with the what was the SRB and the Justice Action Group, and how we can kind of bring all of these groups together and do a better job in that area. So that is the quick board report of what we did in the last year. Are there any questions? I have seen some chat messages, but I have not checked them out. Yes, I saw Don asked about the security footage policy, and Kendall responded. Yeah, basically it was having a policy of how long we keep the recordings and who can have access to them if needed, and how we would handle that. All right, Richard, I see you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, I don't have a question so much as just one thing to add. I see at the bottom of that advocates policy, it says we want for race, gender, sexuality, and accessibility. Those are accurate. We're also hopefully going to be recruiting one for environmental issues. So there's hopefully going to be at least 4 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very good update. And Richard is one of the folks on that committee group, board goal group for this year. Don is asking, is the security footage only outside the building? I am not sure. I do not know where the cameras are, but Andrea might. Or if somebody else wants to jump in.
Sorry, I'm
There
still on
there are
mute.
cameras inside the building.
Yes.
Are they also making recordings?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Well, no,
So-
because they're going to record if there's motion. So in most of the building, there's no recording because there's no motion.
Did that answer that question?
Okay. And as always, if you have any questions with anything related to the board work, you can always email board@allsoulskc.org. That email goes directly to Andrea and I and a couple of folks on the board leadership team, and we can address those concerns pretty quickly. So thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Russ. If we could go to Chuck Downing and get a finance report and a budget update for Julie Kohler, our treasurer, who is out of town this weekend.
Oops, just a minute.
All right.
There we go. Try to get just some highlights. We do have our September report very quickly. We got figures up. We're up to date through the end of September for the first quarter or 3 months. And by comparison to a year ago, our cash position is very good. Thanks to the federal loan for payroll that we got back last spring. Our cash is $25,000 ahead of a year ago. A lot of that is obligated for designated funds and the Simpson House deposits, but it gives us a very healthy operating balance. Donations, this is pledges and other donations. A year ago, the first 3 months were $100,000, and this year to date, $95,000. We had to expect a little bit of slippage because of people losing jobs and other things happening, but that still looks very healthy in terms of donations received to date. Other income, expected slippage because we don't have rental income coming in right now, or not as much. So we're showing about 4,000 less on other income. The Sunny Pluses have been going very well this July, August, September. So that's been very helpful. Expenses are almost equal a year ago to compared to the year before. Social justice payments made that actually carried over from last year, the income for them. So all in all, those are looking very good. Simpson House, we anticipated they wouldn't have any income. They have $11,000 year to date compared to $30,000 last year. So it's going to be very tight for Simpson House, but they do have events and they've got a nice set of bookings for October. During the annual meeting last May, the budget we adopted anticipated that the board would make reductions in the budget, and they've taken action, made cuts of about $15,000, taking out things that we know we're not going to have to spend money on. We just went ahead and adjusted the budget so that when we get a financial statement, we're looking at more accurate figures to give us a good benchmark to watch for. So we've made adjustments also in anticipated income. But all in all, I think it's a very healthy situation. It's stressful and it's tight because of the virus. And I certainly don't see any improvement this fall in terms of being able to expand use of our building or our facilities. I think I'd better stop there and let anybody in who wants.
All right, thank you, Chuck. Are there any questions from anybody watching about the budget or our financial situation while Chuck is still up on the screen?
Hey Chuck, how's the signage project going?
We got the contracts were awarded $11,000 roughly, and pledges have received pledges for 11,000, enough to cover the project. 8,000 have been paid in already. I have to send a note to folks that expect to have the signs installed by the end of October, and we'll need to pay in full when that comes in. But it's gone beautifully on the donations. Have just been a wonderful response, and I meant to compliment everybody in the congregation on maintaining their pledges and donated income. It's been they're very strong and solid considering what's happening in the nationwide right now.
Chuck, a question has come up. How much did we make on the garden tour project?
Well, roughly 500.
That's great.
Very nice. Yes.
And also, folks are wondering how much we've made so far on Sunday Pluses.
Let me pull that figure up here. Just a moment. Whoop, let me find the detail page just a second. Well, I'm not. Yes, here we go. Here we go. Sorry. Sunday Plus year to date, $1,850, $1,850. It's very good.
Nice.
Okay.
Can I just
And-
comment on that, that is particularly strong because at least up until this month, all the food was donated. And normally the Sunday Plus has some expenses for food that come out of the income. So it may not quite keep up that way if we get to the place where not all the food is donated.
Great.
And then we just have a clarifying question from Don Dickey. This month on the report that's currently on the screen, is that for September or October? And I'm going to guess that that is figures from September last month. Is that correct, Chuck?
I don't have that screen up. I was looking at my own file. Russ, do you know?
Yeah, it's the September report.
Okay.
We don't have the
Okay.
October
Right.
statement yet.
Correct.
No. Okay, so this is September's the first 3 months of the year.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yep. And I guess the other half of Don's question is, do we anticipate income coming in? I know one of the things the board is anticipating is we still have the ability to borrow some funds from the endowment. We approved that. We have not done so yet, but we have that available to cover any budgetary concern.
right now, we're not having to do that, so it's good shape.
Okay. Well, we are at the point of our meeting where we would normally take an offering for a specific fund or a project. This year, what the board has decided to do is that we encourage you to make a donation to a social justice group, be that one that is working for voting rights or access to voting or social change. And if you would like, you can make that in honor of All Souls. But we would like to help spread our work out into the larger society. So sometime after this meeting, you are encouraged to make a donation of your choice to the organization of your choice to help spread our mission. See, oh, Dory just asked about the amount of the PPE loan, and Kendall answered it was around $61,000, and that was able to be converted into a grant. So we do not have to pay that back. All right, now we're to the fun part of the meeting. Not that business isn't fun, but here's where we get to recognize members of the congregation for outstanding effort and service. Richard, if you'd like to introduce our outstanding group effort.
I most certainly would. All right, so the 2020 Outstanding Group Effort Award is presented to the All Souls Hunger Outreach Team. This is a group that meets twice a week to make sandwiches and prepare meals to be distributed at local parks to our neighbors experiencing homelessness and food insecurity. They also make treats and snacks at home to add to the meals. They gather donations of free food from all over the city and repurpose and package them to make them accessible to those in need. They set up, distribute meals, and clean up in all kinds of weather. Heat, cold, wind, and rain don't stop them. Equally important, they offer words of kindness and encouragement with respect and dignity for those whom they serve. This is a group that includes Mark Gibbons, Carol Crowles, Jim Fletcher, Theo Schubert, Chandra Demaria, Cheryl Matthew and Derek Westra, Barbara Bemis, Claudine Thomas, Floyd Williams, John Du Bois, Kathy Weil, Amanda Gardner, Dave Black, Frank Stevens, and Beth Andes. It has also included volunteers from groups like KC Heroes and Free Hot Soup. Also important, members of the All Souls community have offered their generous monetary donations so that food and supplies can be purchased when necessary. In our mission to build community and create change, and our covenant that service is our law and to help one another, the All Souls Hunger Outreach Team stands out as an example of the true meaning of these words, as they carry our message and values beyond our walls to meet the urgent need around us.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Hunger Outreach Team.
All right, so we have a short video that we will share of the Hunger Outreach Team being presented their award, and hopefully this comes through. Give me just a sec to switch stuff around. All right.
So the board, since we didn't have a full annual meeting in May, as part of our congregational meeting this month, we are doing our service awards, and the Hunger Outreach Team was chosen as the outstanding group effort for
Yay!
the homeless and hungry in Kansas City. And as part of your recognition, we have Hunger Outreach Team aprons.
Oh, cool.
We've got 10 of them. So when you are working with Free Hot Soup and KC Heroes distributing food, if you like, you can wear this to help spread the word that All Souls is a group that thinks that doing that kind of thing is important.
All right.
All right. Cool. Thank you for being here.
Wonderful.
And do we have a certificate for them?
Yes, we have the certificate, which here.
Cool.
And
Thank you.
Yay, Mark.
All right.
Good guy, good guy.
Let's hear it from Mark.
You know, it's a team effort.
It is.
I put stuff out and then I try to get out of the way.
Somebody's in the kitchen.
And I fail a lot. Get Theo.
Theo, you're missing your award and your apron.
Ted?
Come see your apron.
Apron?
Yes.
This is, yeah.
I'm here, I clean that mess out of the sink.
Well, you need an apron.
I'm just kidding.
So
You need a special apron.
the board is awarding the Hunger Outreach Team the outstanding group effort this year.
Why don't you let Scott do it and you can shoot the video?
All right. All right.
I'll show you. He's
So,
got a whole-
yeah, the board has decided to award the Hunger Outreach Team as the outstanding group effort for our service awards this year. So we have a certificate. We also have 10 aprons that have been made that the Hunger Outreach Team can wear when they're distributing the food.
I'm always good at reaching out when I'm hungry. Thank you.
Look at that.
What does that say?
Says, good for one free Whopper.
Yeah.
May not be combined with other
Can we take your picture?
No, I'm doing the thing.
Thank
No,
you.
that is most appreciated, and all of you, your efforts are most appreciated. This is, you know. Anyway. Okay, Jennifer will be thrilled.
Yeah, there are lots of people that aren't here that are part of this effort too.
That's true. Absolutely.
It's vital work that shouldn't have to be done.
Correct.
Right. There you go.
It doesn't fix the underlying problem, but
But it's,
When you're hungry, it matters.
You know, yes, Barb, if you've been down there handing out the meals, yes, Fletcher, the people are very, very appreciative.
Oh, right.
And you see them at night when you go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet you do.
Unfortunately, some of them, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so, yeah, no, it is most appreciated, and the good news, maybe not for all of you, is, you know, we're now doing 3 nights a week, and some of there are no powers that be, but some of the really strong young women behind this whole group think we should be doing another one much closer to our church. And so we're going to look into that. Maybe share it with another congregation or two.
That'd be cool.
All right. Thank you, Richard, and congratulations to the Hunger Outreach Team. If we can go back to our slideshow, we're now going to make several individual awards. And Roma Lee, you are up.
I'm honored to introduce Diane Spencer as the winner of the 2020 Outstanding Service Award. She is warm and welcoming and a longtime member of our congregation. She has served on the Endowment Committee and the Finance Committee. She also has participated in multiple stewardship drives, but something else stands out for me. When Senior Minister Jim Eller retired, things did not go well for all those. Contention followed, and in that period, Diane became president of our board of trustees. Open, straightforward, and level-headed, she listened and gave thoughtful responses. She helped us to stay calm, and she kept us moving forward. To me, Diane Spencer embodies extraordinary service to our community. She leads us toward building community, inspiring growth, and creating change. Thank you.
Thank you, Roma Lee. Yes, very much. Hear, hear. All right, and also, Joan Awald was nominated for Outstanding Service for all the work that she does behind the scenes. Joan has been a member of All Souls since November 2006. She's been a greeter and helped with hospitality and socializing in the congregations. One of her major contributions for many years up until the COVID pandemic moved services online was to put together and distribute the order of service to those of us who are leading and or taking part in the services each week. Outside of church, she and her husband, John, have delivered meals as part of Meals on Wheels. Joan has helped build the All Souls community and also create change in the larger world. So thank you, Joan, for all of your service to All Souls. Then, for the All Souls Lifetime Achievement Award, I'm very honored to present the winner this year, Jane Gilbreth. Jane has been a member of All Souls since 1965. In her time at All Souls, she's been very involved in many ways. Currently, she serves on the Facilities Committee, which includes Simpson House and the Visual Arts Committee. She's also serving on the Human Resources Committee and was part of the Chalice Task Force that successfully raised money to place signage on the outside of our building. She has served on the Endowment Committee and as treasurer for the board. Perhaps one of her most impactful contributions, though, is that she, along with her husband, Norb Smith, and Ed and Ginger Powers, took on the job of cleaning, repairing, and overseeing changes to Simpson House after the church purchased the property, and was instrumental in it becoming a popular wedding venue and an ongoing source of income for the congregation. Jane when the previous Simpson House property manager left, Jane took over handling bookings until our current Simpson House manager, Charles Dickinson, was hired. She is also a talented fabric artist and a mother and grandmother. For everything mentioned here, and I'm sure there's much that I have missed, Jane was chosen to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award, and it is well deserved.
And we also have a little video of Jane being presented with her award.
On behalf of the All Souls Board of Trustees, we would like to present to you the Lifetime Achievement Award. Very appreciative of all the service that you've given for all these years. And some yummy chocolates just in case. You have a yearn for a tasty treat. Thank you so much.
Thank
everything
you.
You do and have done.
Thank you. This is very nice, and I'm honored and pleased.
Thank you.
Yay, Jane.
Oh, and Lana forgot to mention that also the lovely yellow mums at their feet between them was also part of her recognition gift. Right. And finally, Andrea.
Sorry, I had so many windows open, I couldn't tell if I was on or not. Okay, so typically our recognitions are reserved for church members, but this year the staff has gone above and beyond all expectations as we converted to online and closing the building and trying to keep everyone safe. And so this year we wanted to put out a special recognition to all of the staff. We have 16 people on our payroll, and I'm going to read their names here. I was going to try and group them together, but so many of our staff members wear multiple hats. I couldn't really quite do that. So I'll try and mention briefly what they do. Kendall, our minister, Leandra is our office manager. Judith and Melanie both run the religious education for our children. I have converted all of that online as well. Charles, who manages the Simpson House, he also is over our facilities planning, as well as now doing bookkeeping. Angie, who's our membership coordinator and does a lot with our social media. Sherry, who works in the office and just keeps all of those things, day-to-day things running. Renee, who will shortly be a true member of our staff, runs the forum and keeps that going and is the administrator for that. Elsafi and Miho, who are part of custodial and facilities work. Anthony, who wears multiple hats, the Sunday morning coordinator, as well as our music director. And under him, his 4 section leaders, Sarah, Tom, Shanna, and Darrington. And also Lucas, who is our audiovisual staff member who makes sure things run smoothly on Sunday mornings for both the forum and services. And a final thank you to Marcia, who has officially retired. She's been our bookkeeper for some time now, and we did want to include her in our appreciation of our staff as well. And I do believe that we have a video of me Zoom bombing their Zoom meeting to make this presentation.
Welcome. Excuse me for dropping in on you, but the board has bestowed upon me the honor of presenting a special recognition award to the staff as part of the special congregational meeting that will be held this Sunday. This year has provided many challenges, and each of you has demonstrated flexibility in shifting, adapting, and implementing new procedures to perform your duties during this COVID pandemic. There is a $25 gift certificate to Ruby Jean's Kitchen and Juicery, which is located at 30th and Troost at the church, and a certificate for each of you. These are merely a token of our appreciation of all that you have done in this year to keep our church running. Thank you to each and every one of you.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
How fun is that?
Yes, I get to eat.
All right. Leandra's hungry, so you know everything takes a second place to that. That's very thoughtful. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. And unless anybody in the congregation has any questions or anything else they would like to raise, we're at the end of the official business for the meeting. I'd like to second the thoughts of appreciation for all the work that the staff has done, and especially the ongoing work with all of the audiovisual and the technical process of supporting a service every week, as well as recognize all the work that was done over the summer. I don't know about the rest of you, but I really enjoyed getting a chance to kind of go on a quick vacation around the country and visit other UU congregations for services throughout the summer. Not only did it give our staff a quick break, but it gave us a chance to visit and see what our neighbors throughout the Midwest are doing. So with that said, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your beautiful afternoon.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye.